I don't know who the fuck to trust. Is he my friend or my foe? I'm a extra draw.
Alright guys, it's Juan Zuniga, and you guys asked for it, so here it is. I guess you guys like these reaction videos when I show off other people's stuff, so why not? Let's go for another one. In this video, I was going to do Manny Koshman's garage, but I saw that he might be getting a new car, so I'll wait for that before I do that. But I'm going to do another desk setup reaction or review or reaction of somebody else, a famous YouTuber in the tech industry, and it's MKBHD setup tour for 2020. He posted this about 6 months ago, so I'm interested to see if this guy's a jet tech YouTuber. It's not like Manny Koshman, he's not really into tech, so his setup was more about his desk. Like I said, it was more his tables and stuff like that. This one is probably more tech heavy. Just looking at the thumbnail, he probably has a few $100,000 there, so let's get to it. But before we continue, I want to talk to you guys about our sponsor, Rose Gold and Black. Rose Gold and Black right now is having a deal where you can get a 30% off the landing page plus an extra 15% off if you use their coupon code down below. That I have it down below for you guys. If you buy the either minimal bar necklace, which is this one that I have here, or the minimal bar bracelet. Right now you get an extra 15 on top of the 30 they're giving you. They're also coming out with new bead bracelets. They have this one. This is the Tuscany or the Tuscan bead, which is pretty cool, and I'll have a close-up here of it. It's very cool. It's very minimal. You guys know how much I love the minimal collection, either it be the minimal bar collection or the minimal bracelets, bead bracelets. It's because they're not too much, and you know, I have other jewelry, so I don't want it to clash so much with everything else that I wear. So I love them. They have an amazing deal right now that you guys need to check out, so definitely head out. I'll have the link down below plus the coupon code if you want to save some money right now and that amazing deal. So now let's get into our video.
Hey, what's up guys? MKBHD here, and welcome to the desk tour setup.
Just looking at it right now real quick, has the same keyboard I have. He talked about this keyboard before, and that's the whole reason why I bought that keyboard. That's the Keychronic, I think it's called, keyboard. You can get it for about $70. It's amazing keyboard. It's mechanical. It's wireless or wired if you want to do it, and it works amazingly. The great thing about it too is kind of like the MX keys from Logitech. You can use several devices. You can have it connected to 3 different devices, and just with the keystroke, you can switch between, let's say, your laptop, your desktop, your phone, your iPad, whatever, and have it connected.
For early 2020. This is probably the last tour that there's going to be in this space, as we're going to be moving to a new space in a couple of weeks, like I've mentioned, so that's really exciting. But I figured I'd give you an updated setup tour, and it's of the stuff that I use to work and get work done. Now, I already know a lot of the comments on these are already about, this costs so much money, this is super expensive, but just know that this is not my personal...
It's okay if it costs a lot of money. This guy is a tech YouTuber that has 11 million subscribers. It's okay. I mean, he needs it for work. He uses it for work. It's something that he produces video, he edits video, he does so much content. It's, you know, he needs this type of setup. So it's okay if it costs, you know, I can probably guesstimate probably 50 to 100 grand, if not more. That's probably lowballing it. Just looking at, he has 2 of the Apple screens there, and in the beginning you can see a little bit that he has the new MacBook or the new Mac Pro. So, and just that hard drive he has in the back is crazy expensive.
Personal setup at home. This is my work setup, and this is also the culmination of many years, more than 10 years now, of building a setup like this for work, specifically to edit videos that you see here. So that's the point of it. So maybe me sharing it, you can enjoy it or get ideas for your own setups and things like that. Either way, I think it's a lot of fun. So let's just get started.
Just looking at there, the setup looks amazing. I just wish he would clean his cables a bit in the bottom to make it look cleaner, but other than that, I don't see any flaws.
So the best place to start is always the physical desk itself. And I've talked about this a lot. I've had this since college. This is a custom-sized 8-foot by, I think, 3-foot NextDesk Air Pro. It's an incredible piece of thin metal. It's a motorized desk, so it goes up and down, and it happens to be one of the oldest pieces of the setup, and it also has some battle scars from me maybe putting things down too hard on it. But that's part of the setup, is you get some stuff that gets worn in and it gets used a lot. Speaking of which, that's also the chair that I've used. This is the Herman Miller Embody. If you're gonna sit in the
Tried that chair in New York and it's amazing. Definitely we're thinking about buying some of those chairs whenever we move.
chair for many hours at a time, which people who edit videos typically do, might as well save your back, spend a little extra, get a chair that's really comfortable and supports your spine, which these chairs do. So these two things have been with me for probably the longest of anything else here. So I'll start all the way on the left side of the desk with, again, one of the oldest pieces, which is the studio monitors, the speakers. These are Yamaha HS8s. So it's an 8-inch woofer and a 1-inch tweeter, and these things are sitting on top of these Auralex acoustic foam pieces. If this was just sitting on the desk by itself, it would rattle the desk a lot, and that's not great for audio at all. So they're sitting on these pads, which they have been for a while. And these are incredible. These are internally amplified, perfectly balanced studio monitors. I have had opportunities to switch to others, but these also are really clean.
It's true. I mean, Yamaha has a huge history of having amazing sound quality, and on top of that, they do look great with the desk setup, so there's no reason to change if it's, you know, no reason to fix something if it ain't broken.
Looking really good sounding, never had any problems with them. Again, I've had these for like 6 or 7 years at least too, so I love the Yamaha HS8s. There's also smaller HS5s and HS7s. Then next to that, behind this monitor here, is what's called the Promise Pegasus. I've also had this for a while. If you've seen
that Promise Pegasus is very expensive. Let me just look at it real quick, tell you guys. I tried looking into it. See if I can find it. Yeah. They're around $7,000 to $8,000. Very expensive. But you have a lot of storage in there, and if one hard drive fails, the other one help you. But you know, I think it would be better to just have a server room at that point. But you know, very, very expensive, but it works. I've seen great reviews about it, and he loves it. So
in the older setup tour videos, you'll notice a bit of a theme. A lot of this stuff has been here for a bit, but that's an 80 terabyte RAID array, and that's where I backed up all of my videos since like 2013. And then another thing that's special about this desk is it's got built-in power supply right underneath, which is like literally bolted to it. So I have 12 power outlets there. So that's good for cable management. And that also lets me have this wireless charger here on my desk, and I just plugged in a OnePlus power cable. So if I have a wireless charging phone or a wired phone, they can both plug in here while I'm at work. And then I have these black AirPods Pro from Colorware. I've showed these before in a separate video. If I'm on a video call or an interview or a Skype or something like that, those are the headphones of choice.
Definitely one of the best headphones out there. Very compact, noise cancellation is amazing. Yeah, they're a little bit pricey, but they're comfortable to me, and they're small. That's what I like. You can carry them anywhere, and you're good to go. And
then, of course, is the biggest addition to actually what's on the desk itself, which is Apple's Pro Display XDR. This is the matte nano texture version. It works great in here because there's lots of lights all over the place. There's natural lighting coming in here, so no glare, no regrets. And these are off both on the Pro stand, and they're both sitting next to each other in glorious.
Just the Pro stand is like $1,000, if I'm not wrong. So right there, he has about $12,000 just in monitors.
6K. Low key, one of the most underrated things about these, this is gonna sound like such a complaint, but it's true, is it's really hard to find high-res 6K HDR wallpapers for dual screens, so you need like a 12K setup happening. So I've just reversed a wallpaper and put it on both monitors just to make it look kind of nice, but that's something I've found is tough. But that's what's going on here on top of the desk. My dual monitor editing setup, my dual monitor productivity setup, everything about it, I'm so glad to have.
Definitely, having dual monitors or having a big screen is a must for productivity, in my opinion. It just makes everything so much easier. For example, I have like, in mine, it's like a 50-inch monitor, and it's, you know, I can have spreadsheets and messages and my email and my calendar going all at the same time without me having to switch between desktops, or, you know, and having two monitors is the same concept, and it's for productivity and editing and all that. It's definitely worth it.
Again, it's been a long time since I've had that iMac Pro for a couple years, but I love having two screens. Now, no matter what you think about the Pro stands or whatever you think about the monitors, they are actually pretty useful. They're plugged into the Mac Pro, which I'll get to in a second, but they also have a couple of USB Type-C ports on the back, and since these don't have a webcam built in, I have a little magnetic connecting Logitech 4K webcam on top.
Beautiful camera, nice camera. They run for around $400.
But also, since the computer is not on the desk anymore like it was with the iMac Pro, there's a couple other things plugged into the monitor that aren't plugged into the Mac Pro directly, and that is this Minimag reader, which it's not as fast when it's going through the monitor, but it works. And there's also the dongle to connect to this mouse, which I've had problems with it being underneath the desk. So when I plug the dongle in from Logitech's MX Master 3 into the Mac Pro directly, it would have to go through the desk, and this mouse would stutter like crazy.
Yeah, I have the same issue because I have the same mouse, and I think it's just the metal or something. Because even though I didn't have a metal desk, there was the stand where just was between that and the computer and all that. So I guess the metal, it just interferes with it and just makes it look or be laggy.
So I found that putting a dongle behind the monitor and then connecting it to the mouse worked way better. So if that's something you're dealing with, hopefully that helps. Also, pro tip, if you ever need help plugging in something behind the monitor, something I've done for a little while is just pop up the selfie camera and go ahead and stick it behind the monitor, and then you can see the ports. And this is how
Yep, I did that. With the setup that I have now, I have some USB ports I couldn't see, so I put my phone underneath. It actually works pretty good.
I've known how exactly to plug in stuff or how many ports I have left. So fun fact there, I did that with the iMac too. And then all the way over here on the right is the Apollo Twin Mark II, which is actually a little bit more powerful, a little more capable, although I really don't use it for what it's good for. It's a space gray, basically glorified volume button, but it also has a bunch of plugins and things if people work with audio. But basically that's connected to and powering the studio monitors, and if I want to plug in headphones, that's where I do that too. So then last but not least is essentially the control setup, which is essentially the mouse, the Magic Trackpad, and the keyboard. So the mouse, like I said, MX Master 3, it's got a little bit of a custom laser etching on it, which is pretty sweet, and you had that pro tip of how to make sure.
One of the best mouses out there. Very comfortable, very easy to use, and on top of that, all the little shortcuts and different things you can do increases your productivity like crazy.
Sure, it doesn't stutter. It also connects via USB Type-C. It was in a Dope Tech episode, and it's sitting on a red Artisan mousepad. This mousepad I've tried to buy again because you can see it's like getting really worn out, but I can't find it for sale exactly this one anymore, so I feel like my next mousepad is going to be a slightly different red mousepad, but it is what it is. It hasn't moved in a long time, so I like it. And then over here, Magic Trackpad 2. I just use this literally to go back and forth between spaces. I have dual monitors, but
I did use that once, and it helped. It just, everything was getting too cluttered in my desk, so I had to remove it, but it really does help with moving between screens, or if you have an iPad, you can connect that to your iPad if you don't have a keyboard for your iPad.
I also often have a lot of stuff going on with Final Cut Pro, and then back to the web browser, and then my dual screen editing setup. So that's why I have the Magic Trackpad, and I've often used them both at once. That's just sort of the way my setup's been for a while. And then the keyboard is one of my new favorite little pieces. This is the Keychron K2. It's RGB, it's wireless.
Keychron. One of the basic keyboards out there. I love it.
It doesn't have the number pad, and I don't really miss it. I don't use it that much, but I found that these brown switches have been my favorites that I've tried in a mechanical keyboard.
Very loud, and it could annoy a lot of people, but very worth it
so far. And I have a couple custom keycaps, like the red Ascend key up here, and I don't know, it just feels like at home, it's a very unique looking piece. It's not as low profile as the Mac keyboard, and it sounds really good.
Yes, it does, trust me. One of the best sounding keyboards out there.
But yeah, that's the keyboard that I've been using for a while. It gets really loud when I'm editing, but that's my control setup. Oh, and I almost forgot, I've typically had my smartphone or smartphones of choice, daily carries, whatever you want to call them, just straight up on the desk. But if there's like some debris or something and you put it face down, then it gets a little dicey. So I have the microfiber cloth that came with the Pro Display XDR. Just put it right in the middle of the desk. Phone goes face down on that when it's not charging. Doesn't distract me. I keep it face down. That's about it for on the desk. So that of course brings us to what is underneath the desk.
There you go, the Apple Pro.
Which is the new Mac Pro. So I've typically not had anything under my desk. And I'm working on a full review of this machine. This is now the one that I've bought, not Apple's review unit. So it is a 28 core. I have right now 768 gigs of RAM, which is insane. Vega Pro 2 Duo. It's been excellent so far, and I'm editing this video on that. I dropped an 8K Q&A. It's been awesome. But now my biggest problem really is that cables have to get from the Mac Pro up to what's on.
That makes sense. That's why the cables are all over the place. But yeah, he's editing 8K videos, so he needs something powerful that can take that. With my computer, I can do 4K, and sometimes it starts lagging and getting a little dicey, so definitely worth getting something that expensive and that powerful.
On the desk again, and it's a motorized desk and it moves up and down, but while I'm standing, now you have 2 cables to both the monitors and a cable to the Apollo Twin Mark II and one up to the Pegasus, so it's a little bit messier looking, but I'm willing to work with that to have this machine here. But they actually make a version of this desk with a little holder for a CPU. I think I might end up trying to get one of those and attaching it or something like that. But the Mac Pro's been sitting under the desk. I've had no airflow problems down here or anything. The air goes straight through from left to right, so when it's rendering, you can stick your hand on the back and feel the hot air. But, you know, no dust really down here or anything. I haven't kicked it, so it's just been sort of comfortably sitting down there. So that's the Mac Pro and how it's contributed to this setup, and that review is coming soon. And then, if I go ahead and slide over here, this is how I bring it down to sitting position. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. This is where I've been sitting when editing and making what you've seen for the better part of the last 3 years or so.
So you have it. One of the best setups I've seen on YouTube. Honestly, I mean, if you can combine this setup with Manny Koshman's desk, it would be the ultimate setup. But it would be probably like a $4 million setup. But yeah, definitely amazing setup. He's a tech guy, top tech guy in the industry, so definitely knows what he's doing and what to get, and definitely killed it with the setup. Has everything he needs, and yeah, it could be a little overkill for some people, but I think it's perfect, especially for somebody like him. It's definitely worth it. All right, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and let me know if you want me to show you another video of cars, desk setups, EDCs, whatever it is. Leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.
Honestly, I don't know who the fuck to trust. Is he my friend or my foe? I'm a exit.